Hey guys, hope everyone out there is doing well. As I've mentioned before, we've been busy and I haven't had time to do as many videos, but if you'll stay with me, coming next week we have some pretty cool stuff coming up for you. You may be looking at me now and saying, Kevin, what in the world happened to your face? It looks like I've been attacked by killer bees or something. Actually, it's pretty simple, really. I had to go to the dermatologist earlier this week. When you are really light skinned like I am, what happens is the sun damages your skin because you don't have as much melanin protecting your skin. And the one way that the doctors prevent any precancers from becoming cancerous or any existing cancers from spreading is they zap it with liquid nitrogen. It's a very common procedure done here in the States. So that's what I've had done, and it looks a lot worse than it is. It looks really bad right now, but the cool thing about treating your skin this way is it will freeze off the damage, and then within a few days you won't even be able to tell that I've had this done because these things will just kind of scab up and fall off. So those of you Filipinos who are watching and just really wish that you had light skin, well, this is what you end up with when you have light skin. It's more easily damaged. But I thought I would use this as kind of a teachable moment and talk a little bit about dermatology in the Philippines. And the point that I thought I would make here is that I've always spoken very highly of the medical treatment that I receive in the Philippines. And I would still, even to this day, agree with myself, so to speak. I would not take back anything that I've said about the good medical care that I've received in the Philippines. But something that you do have to keep in mind is that one aspect of getting medical treatment in the Philippines that you have to be a little bit more cautious about. I've mentioned in other videos that if you're going to have something really serious done, then that's when you have to be a lot more selective about your doctor and go to the best private hospitals and that kind of thing. Treating little infections and stuff, that's no big deal. You can get that done anywhere, if you just need to get an antibiotic. But anyway, one of the areas that you have to be a little more cautious about is in choosing a dermatologist. And the reason is pretty simple. This is especially true, by the way, if you're really light skinned like I am, but there are not a lot of dermatologists, based on my experience, who are really experienced with Caucasian skin, especially light skin. And I'll put a link below this video. There's one particular doctor that I always use because, as far as I know, she was one of the only doctors in the Philippines who would do this specific kind of treatment, who would do the liquid nitrogen. And even then it was a little bit different because here in the States, if I go to my dermatologist, he's going to have that treatment sitting in every room. In fact, my dermatologist here in Birmingham, Dr. Jeffrey Martin, he keeps 2 or 3 of these cans of liquid nitrogen in each room because he does this so much. In the Philippines, Dr. Varalo, the doctor I used, would have to order this stuff especially for, in other words, she would just order it when she had several appointments that were coming in that would need that specific treatment. So it's just something to be aware of. If you move to the Philippines, the number of dermatologists that are highly skilled in working with Caucasian skin is going to be limited. There are some there. There's the one that I've mentioned to you in Manila, in Makati, but I don't know that much about the dermatologists in other areas of the Philippines, like in Davao or Cebu City or anywhere else. Those of you who are watching, feel free to chime in. The one thing I can add here, in terms of dermatologists who work with darker skin, Filipino skin, they're everywhere. That's easy to find, and they're not expensive. My wife has gone to the dermatologist and had what's called, I think they're called milia removed, just little tiny dots. They're not anything dangerous. It's more of a cosmetic thing. and they would cauterize those, and I mean, so for, let's say you have a girlfriend or wife who wants to go to the dermatologist, no problem. They are everywhere, and you can find clinics in the mall and all that kind of thing. But if you are Caucasian, and especially if you're light skinned, you're going to have to be a little bit more selective. And I would recommend the doctor that I've mentioned. Or another thing that you may do, again, this is up to you, but if you're going to go home to the States once a year, that may be something that you take care of when you go home to the States. For me, this kind of thing, I don't have to get it done a lot. The last time that I had this done was actually over a year and a half ago. So what I might do, let's say I move back to the Philippines, what I might do is just every year or two, if I come back to the United States, I would uh, I would see my dermatologist and get this kind of thing taken care of. So anyway, I just thought I would share that with you, in that that's something. If you have a lot of skin issues, or if you're really light skinned, it is something to be aware of. Treatment is not quite as easily available in the Philippines as it would be here in the United States. So it's just something to keep in mind.